Today we're going to be installing an Android radio on this 2015 Dodge Strat. Just made a video of how to remove the stock radio. Now I'm going to make a video of wiring up all this Android radio into the vehicle. First off, what we're going to do is remove these vents and transfer them over to this unit here. Alright, using a Phillips screwdriver, we'll remove these screws from here and here. And it looks like there is another one right here, right in the middle. So there's a total of 3. Alright, and get it to come up just a little bit. And it looks like there's some tabs back here as well that we'll have to loosen up. And it looks like you have to press these flaps back. Let's see if I can get it on video. Pull these back to be able to release it. Then the same thing on the other side, and out it comes. And we'll transfer everything over, including this trim, over to the other one. Just at this end, like so. Then we'll put this back in into place here. We'll put in the 3 screws, and there's actually little slots there that have to go in between these here. So this, you have to work these into there, slide them in, and then clip it down into place. Now we'll put in those 3 screws. Alright, all 3 screws are back into place. 1, 2, and 3. And that's how it looks like now. Which is perfect, just like brand new. Now we'll drop in the LCD screen into here. I just grab the screen protector and I roll it up. That way it doesn't get caught down on the sides. Then I just lay it back over again. Perfect. This kit comes with the little screws that go all the way around the base of the radio. Alright, and they just get bolted onto the 4 corners of the radio. And I had to use a PZ1. It's a pretty small Phillips head. Alright, and there we have it, looking nice. This kit does include all the wiring harness, and it comes with the aftermarket harness as well, just in case you need to use this. In this case we don't. This one already comes pre-wired into the original wiring harness, and it has the reverse camera hooked up to this. That's going to go into this module here. This module will detect when reverse is on, and then provide signal to our reverse camera channel. So we will just have to pass the wire into this here, this one here, from the rear all the way to the deck. Hopefully, if that's the way everything goes, which seems like it should. They provide the antenna adapter, so we'll start with the antenna. They provide a GPS, so we'll connect the GPS next. We'll connect the main harness into the power supply port power. Then we have USB that will go in one of these middle ones here. This one's the 3, so it will go into this one here. We have this micro USB port that's going to go right into the next to the USB one. Here's the USB, and we'll see what they have inside. In case they don't have this one here, we'll just connect this extra USB that will go into the same port. So we would have to remove this one from there, just like so, and connect that one there, depending what options are available inside. Let's see if this one is supported. And yes, it is supported here. So this one will plug into this one here to retain your factory USB port, which is located right here. Okay, so we'll keep this one and we'll set this one off to the side. This one will be for your reverse camera. That one, I believe, goes into this one here. Yes. Then we have all our inputs and outputs for microphone, for video in, for subwoofer out, audio in, audio out. This is where all the goodies come from if you want to hook up like an aftermarket amp. Okay, this is the reverse camera cable. This is a reverse camera. This one we'll see if it's optional. These two are spares. This is to power up the camera. Alright, so we pretty much have everything connected. This will plug in to this one here, right here. Then we have this one that will connect probably to the factory harness. Alright, and there we have it. We are now ready to throw this radio into the vehicle. I'm gonna take the camera cable and this extra harness just in case with me, and we'll come over to the vehicle. Alright, let's start off with the easiest part. GPS. Let's remove the double-sided sticky tape adhesive protected that it has here. Boop. And we'll just set this over yonder here. We'll clean that surface off from any dirt. Just set it up on top. Alright, and I just shoved the rest of the cable back here, kind of free up some space down here. Alright, next we'll connect this one here. This one obviously goes to this one here for the micro USB, just like so. Next we'll connect our antenna, and that one, it's gonna be one of these two. I think it's this one here. Yeah, it's not gonna be that one. It's gonna be this white one here. This yellow one kind of looks similar to it, but we're gonna be using the white one to connect right into our antenna adapter right here. Sweet. Alright, just like so. Here's our antenna, our micro USB. Here's our other USB. That one, when we have the unit inside, we'll slide in and pass it in, slide it through here. Okay, next what we're going to connect. Oh, and it looks like this one also has a connection here. It's gonna go right back here to the radio. With this, you're able to retain in all the functions on the steering wheel with this device here. Alright, we have another one. This one here is going to connect to this one here, just like so. Alright, and this one coming out of the main harness here, it's going to connect to this one right here, just like so. So we have this one connected, this one here, this goes to this, then this one goes to the unit, to the stereo. This one will probably be either this one or this one here. I think it's going to be, they both kind of plug in, but I think it's going to be this one because this unit still has to connect to this here. Yeah, see, that one goes to that one. So we'll connect this one to this one here. All right, and there we have it. So we have this one spared. We have this one spared. Then we have this one spared, which they're all like the same, either for a satellite or XM radio or GPS. Then we just have all our channels available here. We have our reverse camera here. So let's pass this cable, and then this one's gonna run all through the side of the door panels to the rear. So let's take everything out of the glove box. We'll press these tabs in like that. This one here as well. Might need both hands to make it a lot easier. Then we're able to pass the cables to the side. Alright, so I am passing my reverse camera cable, and I am hooking it up to the pigtail that we connected just with the RCA. The female for the male, the cable that we're passing to connect into it. That's this one here. It has two little yellow tabs or cords hanging out. Okay. We will also pass our USB cable, and there that is. We'll hang that there. This one we're going to slide all the way through. Alright, we're also going to remove this trim here. Just pull up and out. And this one is latched right there as well. Just pop that out. Same thing with this one here. Then we'll remove this trim cover here to expose everything over on the side. There we have it. Then just pass the cable. Make sure you do go underneath this here. Then pull it through. Alright, then we'll close this up here. Make sure your cable for your USB is still there so we can drop it into this box, to the glove box. Unless you're going to be hooking up like an aftermarket amp. Sub out. Now we're ready to put this unit back into place. I had originally passed the antenna and the micro USB through the bottom and the main harness connection. You actually have to swing it over through this side here and connect them up, not through this bottom port, but through the upper section of the port. All right, there it is, nice and clean. Everything is in here. So now the only thing that's out here is the connection for this here. But before we put everything back together, let's give it a try. Let's fire this sucker up, and I want to throw it in reverse to see if the reversed signal comes on. All right, so I have it on run, the engine's off. I'm just going to press on the brake, throw it in reverse. This display should turn off. Perfect. So it is receiving the signal for the reverse, letting it know that it is in reverse. So that means that we don't have to tap into the radio with the spare cable. This one here for the camera that lets the head unit know when you are in reverse. With that square little box that came with it, it tells it when it is in reverse. Just give a try on the radio, and there it is. I have it on the talk radio.
We talked about this a little bit.
And I love these Android radios. I have one in my car. They're so much fun. You could do so much with it. You could download apps. It's just like literally having an Android phone on your car. Apps. Look at that. Look at that. Google Play Store. I love these head units. You can't go wrong with these. Anyways, let's get back to it. Turn our vehicle back off. We'll put our screen protector back on. That way we don't damage anything here. Let's sneak our cables all the way in. We're going to put the 2 screws that go here. Oop, these are Torx 20s. Here we have it, Torx 20. All right, so we didn't need this harnessed as well. So we're left over with 3 harnesses that we do not need. You could either toss these or keep this in a drawer somewhere. But we will need these for the camera. This is to power up the camera. Here's the camera itself. Then the cable we're going to be running to the back to receive the signal. Next, we'll connect the climate control module. This will plug in right back here, and then this will sit into place back in here. And we'll use 2 Torx screws to secure this down. Right here and right here. We're going to be left over with 4. The ones were from the original radio that we removed, no longer need. And secure that down with a Torx 30. And there we have it, nice and secured. This trim piece goes right in here, just like so. This one will slap back into place. Just line everything up and press it down. There we have it. We're able to remove this now. We're no longer touching this, so we're not going to mess anything up. And look how beautiful this looks. Never get over that. Yeah, let's continue. All right, so we have everything put away now. Now we're just gonna run our cable all along the side. And just one more time, my favorite, YouTube. What? In your car? You do just need to turn on your hotspot on your phone. Ah, wah, wah. All right, so let's just pass the cable and then just run it all along the side of the baseboard here. And as we're laying down the cable, we'll put everything back into place. So let's put this sucker into place. All right, the first one is in. You could also pull this back a little bit to kind of help you out. The weather strip, then put that back into place. Then the same thing with this one here. Just line up the clips in here, just like so. Press them in. Sweet. Then we'll make our way up to the back. Then we'll just do the same process here. We'll lift this one up and pull this one out. Set that over to the side. We'll run it along here, slide it in here, run it out the back, and we'll just lift this up. And using a trim tool removal, you could also push this inside and run it right along the edge of this trim. All right, with the trim tool, I was able to get behind the trim slide it through. Now the same thing here, slide it through. All right, I had to move that seat forward, this seat forward, have it running all around the edge, all alongside here, and here it comes out, and it's going to be running out the back, and we'll put this trim piece back into place. All right, we'll drop this rear seat. All right, I have the cable here running behind the seat belt. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this cover from here. There is 4 nuts holding it into place. They are 10 millimeters. I loosened those up already. I have this here and this loose. So let's remove those 4 10 millimeter nuts. We'll get this box out the way. Close this up. Then we'll pry this out. That'll give us a lot more room. Swing our cable this way. All right, we're going to unscrew this from here. Set that over to the side. We're gonna pop this open. There is a Phillips screw holding this into place. All right, then we'll move this here. Pull this back out. That way we're able to loosen up this trim here. And then we're going to be sliding our cable all the way back in here to try to get it to come out. All right, there I have it pass underneath. Then we'll bring this up this way and around, and I hope this is enough for the camera. All right, so I have it ran way up here. Not sure this is going to be long enough, honestly. We might have to take a shortcut and come this way. We're going to have to figure this out. And we're also going to have to remove this from here. So let's start with removing this, I guess. All right, so I'm gonna try it from here. That way it comes out this way and it's gonna go into here, and it avoids the seal that it makes against the lid here. Hopefully that works. That way the signal will be just ran inside. We'll see if that works. So I'm just putting this trim back into place. All right, and I put the screw that goes here. We're gonna put that clamp that goes right here, and there we have it. Secure that down. We're ready to put this box back down. We got our wire ran. This camera is the hardest part of this radio install. This radio was so easy. This camera is a bitch. And I'll put this cover back, or this lid back into here, this box. Just line it up and put the 4 nuts in all 4 corners and secure it back down. Put the little plugs on top of the nuts. All right, we're ready to put this trim piece here. You might actually have to open this, not too sure if this slides underneath it. I think it does. Whoops. Oh no, it goes right on top of it. Okay, so let's secure this back down. Sweet. Yep, sweet. All right, so it actually goes underneath this lid. Perfect. And just adjust the seal so it's sitting right on top of this plastic, not like here, but like here. What I do is just flap it with my fingers, and it comes up. Just press it in. There you have it. All right, we're ready to continue the mission up here now. All right, it is now the next day. I'm gonna remove this trunk trim around here, all the way over here, so we can pass our cable through there, run our camera out. We're going to be using a Torx 30 to remove these screws from here, and this one here. After you remove these screws with a trim tool removal, we'll try to pop this panel out. Just find a good spot to pry it on. Oh man, this one's gonna be tough. Just make your way around. Yep, make your way around. All right, I'm gonna pop this trim panel from here. This lighter one. Get this one out of the way. This one is like stuck up here somewhere, up on this side. Then this one here has a retainer tab. So with the trim tool removal, pry this out. just like so. Set that over to the side. All right, and then that should be enough to pass our wire through here. We still have to remove this one to be able to pass our cables. All right, and I got it off. It still has more clips on there. What I had to do was just kind of push my arm inside and pull it down, and I was able to pop these off. There is a pigtail here, so we'll let this loose from the pigtail and we'll drop this and set this to the side. And it does have this side here still attached to it, so just pop that off, and there we'll set that over. Now we have access. This is like where our license plate sits. Yep. Okay, so up here we'll find a way to pass the camera. All right, I'm gonna use a 732 drill bit so I can make a small hole here, and then I'm gonna cut this so our cable will go through this little hole, and then that slit will be so we can slide it in between. All right, so I made my hole there. Now I'm gonna cut this with some wire cutters. All right, I was able to get so far with those wire cutters, and I just finished it off with a razor. So now I have my slit there, and I'm gonna slide my cable in between, then run it here, and we're gonna make a hole behind the license plate. All right, and there we have it. Might have to do the same thing here so it stays in one spot. All right, and there we have it. Now we'll put our retainer clip back into place here. Sweet. Then we'll put our other little cover there, I think maybe. All right, so there. That should give us hopefully enough length, because this has a pretty good amount of length as well for the camera. So now, like I said, I removed the license plate, and we're gonna be making our hole maybe right up here. And then I have some weather strip and gasket adhesive so we could seal it up. Also have this little rubber grommet, which I don't think I'm gonna be needing. So we need to make a hole big enough for these RCA cables to fit. And to me, it looks like it might be the 1532. Yep, that looks like that might just be perfect. If not, we could always make it bigger, but can't make it smaller. So let's start with this one here, and we'll see what that gets us. All right, so we want to make our hole right in the middle. So right about here, as close as high as possible, so that way it's kind of tucked and out of the way, you really can't see it. So let's make our hole right here, and there ain't no turning back now. See if our cable passes through, and this is where we made it on the other side. That's perfect. That is perfect. So let's pass these through. Fantastic. You can only do one at a time, and hopefully we're able to get this one in. Sweet, 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 sweet. All right, then we'll mount our camera somewhere like so. We'll silicone that sucker up, and then we should have enough. Yes. All right, we're gonna remove the camera from this bracket so we can mount this bracket, and we'll just put it about so, just to kind of get an idea right at the end of this trim here, right underneath the D, so we get our perfect alignment. So we're going to take this off so we can mount this here, so this camera is not in our way. All right, I'm going to line it up, and I'll make some markings where I'm going to make my holes. All right, so these little screws are super stubborn to get in here. I'm going to see if this works. What I did was heat this up with my torch, and then I just insert it so it melts the plastic, and I'm going to try to insert the screws in there. All right, and it seems that it is working. It is grabbing the screw. This was the smallest drill bit on the set. It is a 1/16. Yeah, 1/16. And these screws actually bottomed out. I think it's hitting metal underneath, and it stripped it. I can't even get the sucker out. I have to get it out with some pliers. So I'm gonna use my own screws to get this in there. All right, I'm gonna use some self tappers, some 1/4 inch ones. this should work. All right, and there it is. That was a hassle. Just make sure it's pretty much lined up here and there, so we have a nice good straight angle. Now let's mount our camera back into place. All right, and just make sure these are nice and tight, so when we have to adjust it, just make just minor adjustments, minor moves. Now we're gonna fill that up with some of that silicone. Just fill that up, and there it is. And that should dry up pretty quick. It's already drying up, you can tell. Sweet. And we'll give it a few seconds or a few minutes just so it can dry up. Then we'll start moving our cable. And I'm actually gonna throw a zip tie right here so it can hold on to it good. All right, that way it just holds it into place as this dries up here. Yeah. And we'll click off the excessive pieces of the zip tie. All right, we could pretty much run our cables here and connect our RCA signal wire for the camera. And I just looped it around this cable here. I'll put a zip tie on here. But we're gonna remove this tail light. This has the reverse signal. This is the pigtail going into it. For this one, we'll use a 7mm socket to remove these screws from here. I'm telling you, this reverse camera, process. All right, once we remove those screws with the trim tool removal, just try to pry this up. And there we have it. All right, so the color wires that we are after is gonna be this blue and orange with white. All right, I disconnected my reverse camera and I peeled this wire back, and here we have our orange, white, and then we have two blue with black stripe. These are both ground. These are your power wires. So it does not matter which blue we choose. And we're gonna use this blue and this orange to tap into. And I have these clips that help so much to tap into these wires. That way we don't have to do no soldering or anything. So I'm gonna attach these in real quick. All right, and there we have it. The red goes to the orange and white, and then the black with red goes to the blue with black stripe. Let's connect everything together, just mocking it up, and let's give it a try. We don't need this for signal, so we could just chop that extra orange piece cable hanging off the RCA cable, and I unplug the power. So let's plug in the power and the RCA cable. Let's give it a try. We should be looking at the ceiling. Oh, come on. I think these dodges need to be on. Let me see. Let's give it a try now. Man. Okay, so I have done some tinkering around. This is not supplying 12 volts. This is supplying 10 voltages, even with the car on. Here is providing more voltage. I have my voltmeter somewhere. This is the reverse trunk light. This is providing more voltage. So right now I have this connected directly to that. I even removed the head, thinking something was disconnected, but everything's good. And now we have camera signal. So we have to find 12 volts just for that camera to activate. All right, so it looks like our power source over here is not gonna work. So I'm thinking of maybe tapping into here and then running a power wire just for this camera here. So I'm gonna try to open this up here, just how we did on the other side, and tap into this cigarette lighter here. So I'm gonna remove this panel and loosen this one up as well. All right, I had to remove all this stuff again, and here we have access to it. I'm gonna all right, so I have this roll of red cable. I'm just passing it through here. I'm gonna try to pass it through this rubber grommet here, bring it in through the inside, and tap into our power wire. I believe it's this orange or yellow and pink. Yeah, yellow and pink. So I'm gonna try to pass it through this little grommet here. All right, here I taped up the cable to a little metal rod. So get the cable to go through. There it is. All right, and there is our cable finally. Got it running through the grommets. I lifted this up so I can pull it up to there, ran it in between, and then ran it down. Now I'm gonna tap into here. All right, I have it tapped in. Now I'll connect that pigtail back into that cigarette lighter. All right, I have my positive there tapped. Let's give it a try. All right, so let's see, let's give it a try. Turn this on, throw it in reverse. All right, we got signal finally. Had to rip the whole dash apart again. So let me put everything back together now, including all this mess I just made. Then we'll just zip tie all this stuff here. I'm probably gonna solder this here. All right, I put some solder on the connection, nice and solid, and I have a heat shield here that I'm gonna put on there. All right, and there is our camera finally installed. Let's put everything back together. And I'm noticing that we have some interference with the reverse camera. So I was actually gonna see if maybe it's a ground issue. Maybe the ground is not groundy-ish enough. But you can see the screen there flaking. As soon as I disconnect this, it stabilizes. Why we don't need a ground to power up the camera, I don't know. I honestly don't know. So we're just going to be leaving our power source and we're going to disconnect our negative. I don't know why that is like that. The only thing I could think of, it's getting ground from here and it's able to power up the camera. I'm really unsure. I am really unsure, maybe. So, no more ground here. Put the tape to cover that up. I'm gonna just leave it like that and everything is working now. Sometimes it's just best not to ask questions. You might get an answer you might not like. So let's zip tie this sucker into place so we could put everything finally back and get done with this project that's taking 2 days already. All right, now I'm gonna just cut my zip ties, make it look a lot cleaner. All right, now we're ready to put that trim back into place. These corners will go inside in here on both ends. Then we'll connect our pigtail here to our light there, and then just kind of push it all into place so it can lock into place inside all these little clip holders. All right, so this thing was freaking pissing me off. I took those off, I put that in there. Now I'm put these in here. All right, and there it is, everything back into place. Let's put in the screws for the tail light here and the screws that go here. All right, and we are set, and there we have it. Now we just got to put the license plate back on, adjust our camera, and we're good to go. All right, yeah, that looks pretty good right there. Nice, sweet, and we are set. I just got to put all this stuff back together. But that's how you do that. This part was easy. The part in the back, not so easy. But just take it with a grain of salt. It is time consuming, but it is worth it at the end. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. So the camera was sticking out way too far, so I moved it back some, and now it's way much better. And I thought this was gonna save the steering wheel control features. It did not. I might have to program them. Let me see. Let me see if this would work. Nope, it is not going to work. Yeah. So it did not retain factory steering wheel settings. Yay. Alright, USB option still works here. And try it over here. Alright, and it works here as well too. Sweet. So that's basically it. I have the time set. Switch this over to miles. If you hold this down, it will switch over to kilometers. If you hold it down, it will switch over to miles. radio's working, USB is working, reverse camera's working, everything's back together, we're good to go. Thanks for watching.